Okay, here's the intro. Scarf buys too much crap. Doesn't need, but he loves it anyway. Scarf got. Look at that. 30th anniversary. Wrong one. 30th anniversary of Kirby. Woo. He's so soft, he's so squishy, and he's like 5 pounds. He's a hefty boy. Not all I got, though. I got. Bleh. Yeah. Your boy Evie. Look at that. Look at your boy. Look at your boy. Got your boy. He's your boy. This thing is 24 inches. That's like that's like I'm doing the joke. That's like 4 Asian penises. There you go, right there. Look how big it is. Look how big it is. It's way bigger than that many actually. How do you size this? Is it like the height of the thing, the circumference of a big boy like this? How does that work? How is he a 24 incher? I don't understand. Welcome, friends. Last guy friend. It's time for a vlog. Why no vlog last week? Because life and tiredness. I worked way too much, and it was just work, game a little bit, sleep, and then it was a lot of. Well, it's because I was also like spent all my free time drawing for Kirby's anniversary. I drew like 2 things for Kirby's 30th birthday, so happy birthday, Kirby. As you saw with that plushie, the 30th anniversary. I bought a lot of things. So the why at the end of this is going to be why do I consume or why do I buy things? And we'll get to there in a minute. Before that, things have been going on lately with the channel. Oh, right. I'm going to put today of this recording, I got to put out the Kirby 30th anniversary talk for the Kirby's Dreamcast. So put that out there. Just realized, so we've been at this for 4 years with the Kirby podcast. And sporadic updates. I'm going to try to update more often. I really want to update a little more often than we have been lately. It's just we've just been so busy. Jinx has a job, I have a job, and work likes to swamp you. And I want to get a wife and kids. That's just going to make me have even less time to do things. But what also is the problem is I'm not very organized. I don't know if you heard that in the background. That was a very loud vehicle. So I'm not the most organized person, and I'm on Twitter like 4 hours a day. I need to work on that, obviously. Not just Twitter, also Reddit, like social medias. I'm on that stuff way too much. I could get more done, but I also feel like I need those things to help me just unpack and not be so ground in, but I don't know. Let's see, so Kirby's 30th, worked on that. More podcast episodes coming in the future with that. You'll notice there's been less streaming. That's because I've been burning out from work, but also because, well, things are different. So I got really depressed. The place that I get my copies of indie games for free, they're like, you're not good enough anymore. We don't want to give you free copies anymore. And that really hurt me. That hurt me a lot. Because, yeah, we don't get as many views as we used to. But doing indie games was a core thing of us. And now it's like, well, with that gone, one-shots are going to be way less than they were before. It's not like we always got free games. But the other thing is the economy's gotten worse. Like, I got a pay raise, and my rent is 3 times more than that. So, I don't know what the hell to do. Like, I have less money to buy games. That's why it was so useful to use these resources to get free indie games so I could still cover indie games. I don't even know why they're like, you're not good enough. Because I wasn't going to buy the indie game before, and now I can't advertise the indie game at all. So it just feels like it's hurting them more than it's hurting me, honestly. So it's unfortunate. And the thing about indie games is there's so many out there. You need to advertise as much as you can. You need to advertise like crazy. So to just go give someone like me who was popular, who can still get some views and has still convinced people to buy games, to go like, no, you're not good enough anymore. It's very insulting, it's very humiliating, and it's also just they're hurting themselves as well. So nobody wins in this scenario. No, there's no winner in this. So it's frustrating, annoying, and it just got me a little bit. It really got me in my center a little bit. I'm like, fudge. And so now I don't know. Like, there's a lot of one-shots I still want to do. And we could still do one-shots in that we could do them based on the Xbox Game Pass, because there's plenty of indies there. But it's like, do I really need to advertise that? Anyone could just get the Xbox Game Pass, like, and play it. Do I need to advertise them? I guess I'm like, hey, here's the things worth checking out in the Game Pass, or something like that. I don't know. Like, our channel has definitely produced way less than it used to. We were crazy then, and that's also because me and Jinx either didn't have jobs or our jobs were lesser back then when we were making like 2-3 videos a day. And the only good thing to that was that we knew we could do it. And back then, like we just how much could we produce? And we proved that we could produce a lot. And just as a challenge or as a thing, it's cool that we were able to do that. But now it's like, yeah, we did not need to go that crazy, but it was cool that we could, is the way I'll put it. The more you work, the more that life happens and makes you busy, the less that you can put into your hobby. And that's just how it is. That's an unfortunate thing. That's just how it is. Also because we made the hobby work after all. It really is a very much work thing. And I still enjoy it. That's why we still do it. I need to just find a better balance between this and other things in life because I am spending way too much time on social media. I'm getting entertained. And I'm just going through finding the next entertainment, and the next entertainment is like I could be a little more productive, and I got to work on that for sure. I'm definitely feeling that I'm like, oh god, I am just wasting a little too much time on social media. Also because it's just looking at random people's things. Like I'm not necessarily building relationships or anything. Like it's just I'm just junk fooding it pretty good. I think that's what it really is. I'm just junk fooding it, just going through. And it's good to be entertained, but there's a point when I'm just in a cycle of, I don't need to be entertained anymore. I can go do other things. I'm just droning on now. And so that is something I need to work on for sure. And my productivity could be so much better. But I do wonder, part of it, is it just the body needing more entertainment? Because it's just so like, work, or like ADHD is like, it just wants to be distracted instead of just dealing with work again. I wonder about that. And that is a question that I think is a valid question is, do we have a crap ton more ADHD, or is it just that technology, especially social media, has figured out how to distract us and make us desire distraction more than ever before? And I think it's probably potentially both, because it did feel like we were getting a rise. When I was a kid, we were getting a rise in ADHD, and as was put, ADD for kids. Before technology was taking off, because I was in school before smartphones and before the internet really took off. TV kind of was there, but you're just, you're a kid in a school. You don't have there's nothing you can really distract yourself with in school. But then again, you're a kid, you want to distract yourself. I don't know. Maybe they just noticed it more now from that point going forward. But it does feel like we've become a more distracted people. And it's just a question of, have we just genetically developed that way, where we need to be more distracted, or is it the society has affected us with technology and everything? And it's probably a combination of both, honestly, at the end of the day. Probably is. And that's why I wonder am I just a product of the age, or do I have these things? And I do not know the answer, because I keep trying to talk to doctors, but doctors have like a year out of people they're talking to, because the pandemic, of course, ruined a lot of people mentally. And so it's a pain in the ass to talk to doctors right now about mental health, which is annoying. Or it's just, they're just pushing everyone back because they're more dealing with just depression more than all these other conditions, which is not helping me, because I'd like to know. Because last time I talked to a doctor, it sounds like you might have ADD. They're like, it sounds like you might have autism. And they're like, they're not really sure about the, what's the word here? OCD? Obsessive compulsive? They think that's just more ADD than obsessive compulsive. But they're like, there's a chance of those two things, of autism and ADHD. They're feeling those are potentially there, but I need to do more tests for it. I'm like, oh, great. You're out. Fuck. So I'd like to know. I really would, but I just... They're like, we can just put you on medications before you figure it out. I'm like, why would you do that? Shouldn't you do a full diagnosis first? I feel like you should do a full diagnosis before you just throw drugs at me. Random thing I learned is Asperger's. So Asperger's is high-functioning autism. That's what Asperger's is. So the question is, do I have that? Learning is that Asperger's was the guy it's named after was eugenicist. He was a Nazi, so he's not the best guy, and that's why Asperger's has been used less. It's just high-functioning autism instead of saying Asperger's, because that guy was a Nazi. Like, that's an interesting fact to learn. Okay. So why do I consume? That's the question. It's like, why do I consume? Why do I have so many plushies? Why did I buy this giant Eevee plushie. Why did I buy? Well, Kirby because 30th anniversary and because fandom. But why do I buy so many things? Why do I want to be a collector? By the way, I've seen the real Kirby collectors. I ain't got nothing on them. I have 100 manga. I have like 50 plus plushies. I ain't got nothing on the real collectors. I don't. The real collectors have spent tens of thousands of dollars, and they have everything. Everything. I'm talking like all the little promos, all the things that they only made 100 of. Just all those things. There are collectors who have those. I'm like, damn. Like the little toys that were only sold in Japan in the coin machines. There are people who collected those things. Those things that, how could you possibly find those anymore at this point? They have them. And it's so impressive. Like, it's a bad way to put it. But totally, if I could date a collector just based on that, I would. Superficially. Like, hey, you got a nice collection. Want a date so I can just look at your collection? And then maybe we have something later? That's a horrible thought. Bad thought. Hey, you never know, you could hit it up, you know? I don't know any Kirby fans in real life. I'm the only one I know. Everyone is just on social media that I know are Kirby fans. That's unfortunate. It's easy to find a Pokemon fan. It's easy to find a Magic fan. It ain't easy to find a Kirby fan. Yeah, most people hide it, I feel, more than the others, just because it's a little pink boy. I don't know. So I consume because... So it's a question of why am I a part of consumerism, I think. Not just like... Because consumption is also eating, but I feel like that's a different conversation. But real quick on that one, just because we're on it. Consumption food-wise, like eating junk food or just eating fatty foods or just eating foods that aren't good for you, but they're tasty. I did that because of the car accident and everything. I went up to 210 pounds. I've said this before in vlogs. If you're new, though, the thing got fuzzy, so I'm trying to correct it. I did not correct it. Oh, no, it did. There we go. Okay. So, when I was at my worst pain from the car accident, when I was up to 10, like, every day for months, or 10 and 9, like, food was the only thing that brought it down, because I was distracted with food. I was distracted with flavor. I was distracted with that, so that my pain didn't feel as bad. So I ballooned up to 210. And, like, why do I consume? I consume to make the hurdy go away. That's the best way to put it. And before that, I consumed, because I was a skinny kid. We're going on this conversation now. I was a skinny kid. My family was like, you're too skinny. You're just bones. You need to eat more. And then I became a fat kid. You're too fat. You need to lose weight. Still, here's all the food that you were eating before. My family has not been very helpful in that, ever. My family buys ice cream. They buy cookies. They just buy food that's not good for me all the time. And like, you want some? It's like, you bought it for me, you bastard, and I don't want to waste it. What is wrong with you? If I lived alone, I would probably be a much skinnier person. But I don't. I don't live alone. So, annoying as that is. Why? Okay, no, just real quick, why? Why doesn't Scarf live alone? Well, no matter what, I'd have to live with either roommates, or I would live and have very, very, like, I would have to survive just barely paycheck to paycheck. I already am that, but not as bad. My roommates are my family, and because we know each other, we're not crap. I had roommates, there's been way too many nightmare roommates, don't want to deal with that. And then alone, so if I was alone, I would have I did the math with how much apartments are here and everything and how much gas has gone up. So before gas prices went up, I'd have about $200, $300 to work with every month outside of food, gas. Food, gas, rent, electricity, gas, like housing gas. All those things. So just food and then so just all that and say subscriptions. So at least Xbox Game Pass, Nintendo's Pass, and at least Netflix and Disney. So that's like $50. So after you do all that stuff, before the gas, it was about $300, $400 I could use to, say, do luxuries like own Kirby's or buy a game or go out to a show, go out to eat, go to the movies, things like that. Now with the increase in price from gas, I am more at like 200 or 100. That's it. Oh yeah, also student loans, because I pay student loans. I forgot that part. That's also eating into everything I have. That's alone, I'd have like 200. With family, since it's with family, so everyone's paying into the rent, everyone's paying the gas, this and that, and all those things, I go up more to around like $500 that I'm able to use every month. Then gas happens, so I'm at like 400, 300 instead. So with that, I am able to buy... Oh yeah, also money's going into retirement. I have money going into retirement as well. Just remember all the things that are taking money out of me. So I'm able to buy a game or two every month. I'm able to buy a Kirby plush or so. And then I'm able to go out and meet people and do things like that. Meeting people's expensive, by the way. If I don't want to be alone anymore, it's not cheap. Not cheap at all. You gotta go out. So you can go out, you gotta buy food, you gotta buy drinks, of course you use gas, then you gotta buy a ticket to like a show or something with these people you're hanging out with or whatever. And so I end up having very little money after that. So there's no savings. Scarf does not have any savings. You can argue my retirement is my savings. That's it. So I end up with not much. And then, rent went up and gas went up. So I'm down to like 200 walk around money. I can't even imagine what it would be if I was alone. If I was doing a single. California's an expensive place. That's the best way to put it. So why do I consume? Why do I buy Kirby's? I buy Kirby's because I like Kirby a lot. Why did I buy that Eevee plush? Because I just like plushies in general. So I like that Eevee. I like Eevee a lot. If that was a giant Sylveon, I would have bought that in a heartbeat for sure too. I consume because... And you could argue it's wastefulness, but it's like a mental health thing for sure. It's very much I'm happy I have these things. With Marie Kondo, you should only keep things that bring you joy. All these Kirby's bring me joy. I don't always see them, but I have them and they make me happy. It's the best way to put it. There are people who go to the shooting range every week. Shooting guns brings them joy. People who go fishing. Fishing brings them joy. It's the whole point of doing things. You should do things either to live, to have fun, or to improve yourself. And there's probably others you can argue, but these are the three I can think off the top of my head. I work to live. I buy Kirby's for the enjoyment. And then I play games for the enjoyment. I bought a violin for improvement. I like to think of making these videos as improvement. Like, I think these vlogs are good for mental health because I'm getting my thoughts out there, getting my feelings out there. So, yeah, it's important to just do things to better yourself in one way or another. And that's why I think it is okay to just drop things. If you're not having fun with a hobby, maybe take a break from it or just stop doing that hobby. You're not having fun with a game, it's okay to just drop it and do some other game. You're not liking a show, same thing. And there's the big one is relationships. Like, if you're not enjoying a relationship, maybe reevaluate it or talk with them and see how you can both make it a better relationship. Or maybe you just aren't compatible anymore is another way to put it as well. Sometimes it happens. And sometimes relationships fall in and out as well. And it's important to recognize that, I guess. And maybe you can mitigate it so they're not as deep falls. Or they're just more slight. I think you can pull that off in a relationship. If the people can talk enough with it. So, TLDR, why do I consume? Why do I buy things? I buy things because they bring me joy. Because I enjoy having all these plushies. Because I enjoy just the joy. That's it. The joy of owning these things. The joy of consuming. Having these things makes me happier. It's also a psychological thing. When you see a smiling face, it does make you feel better. This is a psychological thing for people in general. That's why people smile at stores. They're smiling at you to make you feel in a better mood, so you're going to want to buy things. Because when you're in a crappy mood, well, you want to buy a damn thing. But you're in a happy mood, you're going to want to buy a thing. That's why you are inundated with smiles when you go to shops and things like that. That is the whole idea there. And so if I'm surrounded by a smiling pink boy, oh yeah, it's going to make me feel happier subconsciously. So there you go with that as well. think that's everything. I went to different places in this vlog. But yeah, I've tried more to make food not my outlet. I think that's also important. I've tried to not make food my outlet. I've tried to make Kirby my outlet. What I need to work on is I need to make exercise my outlet. The problem with that is, my back. That's the problem. Then it's part of it's an excuse, and part of it is just understanding, being real. It's like, yeah, my back is going to be a problem. I got to figure out how to work around it, make it better and stronger, and things like that. Thing is, just exercise is just not my drug. Some people, exercise is their drug. It's not mine. It is a chore. Some people can turn it where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, where for him it's every set is a step closer to being Mr. Universe. That's why he enjoys it. Well, for me, it's just every set is just a step, hopefully keeping me away from having a really bad back when I get older. It's unfortunate, but a part of my motivation is just to slow down degradation. That car accident really screwed me up. I hate that I have to think about it all the time. Here's a question. Here's a question for everyone else, if you get to this part of it. Is there a hobby that you ever fell out of and you never came back to, and a hobby that you did fall out of but you came back to, and you made your enjoyment stronger? I'm actually kind of curious about that. Like, so it's not just putting everyone on the spot. Was that something I've done? Is there something where I left and I came back, oh man, I'm really enjoying this even more so now? I think Magic has been that. MTG? Magic the Gathering? I hate it, I leave, I come back, I feel like I'm better at it. I hate it again, I leave, I come back, I feel like I've gotten even better at it. I understand the game even better, making better decks, but then I run into the bullshit again and I'm pulled out again. At some point, probably in like 2 more years, I'm going to go back to MTG again. Probably. I don't know when I'm going to be okay with BS in Magic, but at some point you just have to if you want to play it again and again. Because deck building is fun. Watching your decks go off is fun, but it is not so enjoyable when other people's decks go off, or when you're just getting impeded. So I think the decks I like the least are the just impeding decks, where it just makes it that you don't get to do anything, so that doesn't feel very fun. But I should not feel bad when a deck goes off against me, because the whole point is you're trying to make your deck go off, but theirs got to go off first, kind of thing. It's also being okay with losing, which, as a competitive person, it's never fun, and that's the thing I have to get better about. In general, that's the other reason why I don't do as many versus games anymore. Because, competitively, I hate losing. Just don't like it. I very rarely have found games where I'm okay with losing. There's only a couple games where I'm like, I had so much fun, I don't care I lost. I don't care if I've lost 100 times. I'm just still having fun. There's only a few games that do that. And it ain't MOBAs. MOBAs ain't that feeling. No, I feel miserable when I lose a MOBA game, and I feel only a little happy when I win a MOBA game. That's why I stopped playing MOBAs. Now we've gone long enough. That's it for now. I had fun. Hope you have fun watching. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.